Most people think of grief as something that happens after death. I mean, you might get a week off, maybe a couple days, and then you're supposed to move through it and go on, right? Like nothing happened. But that's not how grief works. Today on Reaction Reset, I'm going to talk about 4 hidden griefs that are really important that you take time to grieve and share. Grief can stem from many different losses, and with each of those, it's important to remember that unless you resolve it, it can lead to other emotional problems. The 4 griefs I'm going to talk to you about today are the loss of identity, the loss of autonomy, the loss of safety, and the loss of expectations or dreams. Let's start out with the loss of identity. This includes going through a divorce you didn't necessarily want or the loss of a job. Any loss of an identity, it's important to remember that you may have a time of transition where you feel confused, disoriented, but mostly you just feel sad. Grieving includes who you thought you were, the loss of what you used to think of your life. Did you really know yourself or the other person involved as well as you thought you did? Unless you take the time to grieve it and really come to terms with it, you may end up feeling bitter or resentful or blaming. Let's say in the case of a divorce, if you're the person that didn't want it, you may project that anger and blame on your partner forever, where in a sense, your partner wasn't feeling it. You can't be married to someone that doesn't love you. It's much better to be able to accept what happened and grieve it and share it with other people so you can resolve it. The second type of grief is that of a loss of autonomy. Whatever the reason, when you can no longer take care of yourself, it's a real loss. You may have taken a lot of pride in being able to be independent and do what you want when you want it. When you can no longer do that, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of feeling like you're a burden on other people. It's important that you look at what's happening realistically, that you allow yourself to feel bad about it, to grieve it, and then share it with someone else that you love so that you can move forward without that weight, that heavy weight of grief on your shoulders. A third type is a loss of safety. If your home has ever been burglarized or your car ever broken into, you know how terrible that feels. Someone violated you. You're scared. You may feel numb. You may become more hypervigilant. You may be scared to go out. You may have flashbacks of what happened to you in the past. It's important that you allow yourself space to grieve that and to come to terms with that. That is a real loss. To feel like you're constantly on the watch out, to feel unsafe, to feel afraid to do the things you want to do is something that you need to be able to grieve so that it doesn't hold you back. The fourth type of grief is that of a loss of expectations or dreams. You see this many times with couples who are infertile or couples who were working so hard all their life to have a great retirement, maybe a new home, and then they find out that they can't fulfill that. They look at their funds and go, this is unrealistic. These kinds of grievings happen every day. Something as simple as something you planned for work, like where you wanted to be at this stage, at this age, and it doesn't happen. These are little hurts, and if you don't deal with them, they'll turn into anxiety, depression, feeling like, you've lost your purpose, or is this all there is? accept that these losses are real. And rather than beat yourself up or shame yourself, be compassionate with yourself. What you're feeling is real, and you have a right. Let me validate that it's sad. When these things happen, they're disappointing. It's not what you expected, and that's always difficult. But when you are considerate of yourself and you allow yourself time and space to talk about it with someone else that you love, you actually are nurturing yourself. It's part of self-care. It's very important. When I was growing up, I lived in a small community, and I remember neighbors, when they went through a crisis, we all shared. No matter what happened, a loss of a job or a child who didn't get into the college they wanted, they would feel bad, and they had a safe place. We would all talk about things, and we were all part of their support system. We validated that. We validated their right to grieve and feel disappointed. We don't have that anymore. So it's very important when you're considering taking care of your own mental health that you realize just because we've changed where we are with technology doesn't mean we don't still have these feelings. So when you can, and when you notice that you're feeling down, before you start projecting or just giving up, go through your life and take a recount of what's happened and give yourself permission and compassion to grieve, and share it with someone close, because it's the sharing and their validation that really helps us move past it. Remember, change your reaction, change your world.